Hello, I'm Kian Blake. I'm from the UK and I'm class of 2023.
Hi, my name is Jasna. I'm Slovak and I was in Candidate Weekend 4.
Hi, I'm Anas. I'm from Pakistan and I'm class of 2023.
Hi, my name is Inju. I'm from South Korea.
Hi, I'm Suleiman Hussain. I'm from the UK. I'm freshman, class of 2023.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm from Mexico. I'm class of 2023 and I was in Candidate Weekend 1.
Hi, my name is John. I was born in Malaysia, bred in Australia, and I'm in the class of 2023.
Hi, my name is Tegan. I'm from the United States. I was Early Decision 1, and what's the other one?
The class?
And I'm from the class of 2023.
So why did you apply to NYU Abu Dhabi?
Well, to be honest, originally it was to have a financial safe choice because I didn't really know whether I would be able to get financial aid for the other universities I was applying for, especially since a lot of them were in the US and some others in the UK, and I didn't really want to take a loan. So I just decided to apply here, and if I get accepted, I will always have a backdoor which will give me aid. But then I came here for a Candidate Weekend, and I was like, this is actually an amazing place. Please accept me. I want to go here.
I found the place to be really one of a kind. Never would I have ever achieved an education so diverse and so unique in the UK. The opportunity to study a liberal arts education, both with breadth and depth at the same time, is something that I would never have gotten the opportunity to do so.
I grew up in the same small town in Mexico my whole life, so I wanted to try something different. I wanted something different in my life.
I applied for a couple of reasons. There's the exceptional travel opportunities, there's the scholarship, and there's obviously the faculty members, but more importantly the chance to meet so many diverse people, and I have since being here.
Being someone who was really passionate about getting to explore more cultures or getting to know more about people from different places and from different backgrounds, I couldn't think of a better place than NYU Abu Dhabi, which had students from literally every background or every part of the world, and that I thought would be something that would really help me gain exposures and gain the experience that I was looking for myself to have, so that when I graduate from this university, I do have something that's different from another institution that I would go to.
What kind of preparation did you do to apply to NYU Abu Dhabi?
It would be like creating an image of myself. I wanted to apply as Megan, as true Megan. Then if I got accepted, they would be accepting true Megan, not an image of myself.
I spent a lot of time on my essays and also researching the programs here, such as the staff, and I was kind of undecided between my majors, so talking to students that I met through Candidate Weekend about my options really helped with making the decision.
What I did specifically for NYU Abu Dhabi was I tried to do a lot of things in high school that would depict me as the person that NYU Abu Dhabi specifically would want. So I was involved in Model United Nations to show a global perspective. I was involved in service because I know NYU Abu Dhabi has a large kind of global outreach program, and with all these things I feel like I shaped myself as kind of a global thinking, forward-minded person, and I think that that's what NYU Abu Dhabi is looking for.
To be honest with you, the preparation I did was mostly speaking to students who are already here from the UK, just because I wanted to get some relativity. I did a lot of research online and using the website, various forums. I may have dabbled into the confessions page, various things like that.
What was your greatest fear or the hardest moment during the whole application process?
I think definitely the pressure that comes with Candidate Weekend, because by getting invited to Candidate Weekend, that means academically you're ready and you could be accepted, but there's a lot of pressure on how you act during those maybe 48 hours, and so I had to keep thinking, okay, kind of my acceptance depends on how I act in these 2 days, and it kind of always feels like a little bit of a fishbowl, like it kind of feels like everyone's watching you and what you say, and it didn't necessarily feel that natural, so I wanted to make sure that I came across not only as someone NYU Abu Dhabi would want, but also as myself.
I would say the most difficult is thinking about what to present, which part of you to present, and how to present that part of yourself. It's very tough, but I would say just be yourself. I know this is what everyone would tell you. Just go with your instinct, prioritize yourself, understand yourself, and show that side of yourself. Everyone's unique.
I think I was really scared that I will not, stand out. I think that's very common for a lot of people who apply to NYU Abu Dhabi because it's such an amazing place, and when you come here for candidate weekend, you hear and see and meet all of these people who are doing amazing things and are just wonderful, and there's a lot of very talented people here. So I was really scared that I wouldn't have something special that they're looking for, but as they told us during candidate weekend and when we got in, there's something special about everybody, and everybody who is here because they wanted us to be here. We're not an admissions mistake, as many freshmen often say in times of crisis.
My greatest fear is that I've never been to Middle East before, and when I tell people that I applied to school in Middle East, they all go like, "Oh, are you sure it's safe there? Are you sure that you don't have to wear like hijabs or abaya or anything?" And it was like rumor, but I still felt kind of like scared until I came to candidate weekend. But once I came to candidate weekend, I kind of learned that this is not like a scary place. It's where everyone lives.
What is a candidate weekend?
So a candidate weekend is weekend, obviously. It's a few days where they fly you into Abu Dhabi, you live in the dorms, and they give you an experience of what the university is like. So you get to meet professors, you get to meet deans, you speak a lot with current students, and you also explore the city and the UAE. It's also for the university though to be able to see whether you match with the values and mission of the university.
Can you explain about the candidate weekend? Can you tell me how it starts and like how the activities go?
So once you get off from the plane, there will be people from NYU Abu Dhabi, basically current students, who are wearing purple t-shirts, and they bring you from airport to school.
Everyone brought some objects from their home, and that object would represent something that reminds them of their home. It was a very fascinating event for me when I could see 150 students from all around the world picking up some objects. Someone had a frame, someone had a necklace, someone had a panda. That was a really interesting and a very fascinating morning for me, when for the first time not only I got to meet people from so many different places, but got to know how both their stories are similar and different in a way, and how everyone has very unique sort of lives and how they can portray that through just one single object.
There's a lot of like speeches from, for example, the Dean of Student Life, the Vice Chancellor. There's like an academic fair, a campus resources fair, where you get to learn about the resources on campus, obviously, and gather some cool stickers. So you get sorted into these groups with 2 peer ambassadors, so 2 current students and around 10 candidates, and you have breakfast with them. I don't know if also lunch, but you basically spend a lot of your day with them to be able to have some sort of support system, and you also do reflections with them.
So for me, Canada Weekend, I think the most memorable part was probably sitting in the desert, because it really sort of painted the picture as to the fact that you're in a very, very unique place. You're no longer in your cold, misty town in the middle of the UK. You're in a desert.
I felt really, really excited. Like, people told me I was the most excited candidate they had ever seen. I was going somewhere completely new, and this is the only university I applied to. I think my best moment was whenever we would socialize. It was very nice to meet people from all over the world. I was very excited, as I said. So every time I saw someone new, I'd go up to them. I'd be like, "Where are you from? Like, what's your name?"
We went to the mosque, the Grand Sultan Mosque in Abu Dhabi. The one very formal part was the couple hours when we had 2 interviews. So one individual with a professor, I believe they were all with professors, and then one with an admissions ambassador, which was a group interview.
Do you have to pay for the candidate weekend?
No, you don't. It's all for free, so they pay for your flights, and obviously they cover everything here. And if, for example, the airport that you're departing from for candidate weekend is far away or it's not in your home country, they can also cover the expenses to get there.
You had to bring one object from home for the presentation. Which one did you bring?
I actually decided to do a comedy sketch, and I kind of rocked up, and everyone had these like mystical items from their like great grandparents, and it's like, yeah, this means so much for me. I just brought a packet of jammy Dodgers because they're a biscuit in the UK, and I proceeded to do a sketch about how the UK's economy and the whole of UK only works because of jammy Dodgers and the consumption of tea and the dunking of biscuits. And I mean, it went down well, but there was a moment there where I was thinking about switching it when I was sat there and everyone was talking about their special items.
I brought a mahjong towel. I was born in Malaysia, and that was like a big part of me, and it really sparked something. So I was just like, I had to bring something that's like, culturally, intrinsically linked to me.
When I lived in US for a year, we traveled a lot, and we traveled through national parks. And for each national park, you can do some activities for like junior ranger stuff, and then they give you like a small badge. And in my home, I have like a whole collection of badges. So I brought that as an object because I felt like I really enjoyed the experience traveling with my family.
I actually have it with me. Okay, so it's a wallet. Okay, now this wallet has the words Eureka on it, which means happiness. I think it means happiness. I got this when I was 5 years old. For me, like, this is the thing that I've always sort of had. I've never replaced this wallet. I've never really had any other wallet, and it's like, I don't know. It just means a lot to me. The UK.
I brought a photo frame with me, and that picture means a lot to me because in that picture I'm holding a flag of Pakistan. That's my country, and I have a T-shirt that has a flag on USA on it. Reminds me of not only my one home but two home. So that's something I related to a lot, and that's what I brought with me.
Can you explain how the interviews are like formed? Like how many do you do? Who do you do it with? How long it is?
So there's an interview with an admissions officer, and you can be with 1 to 3 more people in that. They just ask you to describe your candidate weekend experience, draw some things, write some words that would describe it. The faculty interview, they ask you more about what you could contribute to NYUAD.
How was the interview?
The interview, to be honest with you, I sort of had the impression that I was going to get initially just rejected, so I kind of went on like, I don't know, I took the existential route and just sort of started like free speaking about everything. I found them quite intense. So one of them was actually based around sort of your own sort of philosophy, your own opinions, your own sort of unique and diverse questions. So they ask questions such as what superhero would you be, what superpower would you have, these sort of abstract questions to get to know you. And the other one was very, very academic focused, and it happened to be with a professor who I wrote about in my essay, so it was actually kind of interesting to see her in real life.
He asked us what is our biggest fear about coming to NYU Abu Dhabi, and like when we would already be here, what would be our biggest fear. I remember saying that I was really scared that all of the lessons that I learned in high school about how I should live and who I am and all of these things that I grew as a person during high school, that I was really scared I would forget them when I came here and I would make the same mistakes.
I know it's my personal opinion, but I think the last interview didn't really influence my admission results because the questions that were asked during the interview was like pretty general. And for example, the one question I remember was, what kind of hardships do you think you're going to experience in NYU Abu Dhabi, which doesn't really show much of my personality, but more like just a general question. And I think interview was more for us to wrap up and then think about our experience, but not necessarily for the admission office to evaluate us.
The interview was actually fine. So we had a one-on-one with a faculty member from your subject, but it wasn't actually about the subject. It was more about, I just talked about my extracurriculars, and he asked me why I wanted to come here, obviously it's standard. And then we had a group interview, which is really interesting, one of the most interesting ones I've been in. So he said, there were 3 of us, and he said, write down 3 words that you kind of associate with this question, and then you had to elaborate on that, and it was really interesting.
We talked about our lives, travel, ambitions. He asked me if there are any specific classes I would want to take, so definitely do your research on that before, because they might ask you super specific questions, and if you give an answer that they like, that could be super impressive. So I actually happened to know one of the classes that professor taught, so I said, I think it was called Letters from Abroad. So I was like, I would want to take that class, and he was like, oh, I teach that, and I was like, I know. So that was good for my interview, I think. I think I really enjoyed my interview with my professor. I thought he was super interesting, and it did feel like the one time during that weekend that we got kind of an individual opportunity to show who we are. I think a lot of the time we were kind of asked to talk about things we didn't really care about, kind of at marketplace breakfasts and et cetera, et cetera. So and the interview was the one time that I felt like I could say, hi, I'm Tegan, this is what I like to do, this is why I want to go to NYU Abu Dhabi. And I think that was super important, and they should definitely continue with that.
Perfect.
So my first one was actually with faculty professor. He was like this very quiet, strict looking maths professor, and at the start I was kind of nervous, like how can you not be nervous? But after that, like maybe because it was so quiet, I was like okay, like it got a bit more like organic, natural, and it was actually very nice. Like he's Italian, we talk about like arts. I don't know how we went from like math sciences to like arts, then we just start talking about food, which is like very casual and very random, but I enjoyed it. I think it was more like how you sort of introduce yourself to them, let them understand you, but also understand them, which is like this big part of the entire candidate weekend. It's sort of mutual. You have to like understand them, and they're giving you this opportunity to like, feel a sense of what it is to be here. So it's this like, I don't want to say it's an experiment where they look at you, because like you also look at them. So yeah.
One interview question that I'm pretty sure comes is how we got to know about NYU Abu Dhabi and what's our reason to apply for it. And secondly, how we find it a better fit for us. How we plan to adapt to NYU Abu Dhabi. What we hope to gain from the university. So that might be phrased in different ways. But the main idea is what we are looking from our university experience, both in terms of academic opportunities, career opportunities after we graduate, as well as the social life and the extracurriculars that we gain from university.
Were there any fears before coming to university?
Definitely. I mean, I think there would be fears going to any university, but especially for the majority of the population here is just going to a new country and going to Abu Dhabi specifically. I think there was a lot of fear kind of adjusting from my like westernized culture to a more conservative one, and kind of understanding the boundaries between going to a Western university in a conservative and non-Western country. I think I'm still figuring that out, and I think I will be until my senior year. Furthermore, I think I felt like I was the only one who didn't know what they wanted to study. And I still feel like that sometimes. I feel like people don't talk about it if they're unsure, and they do talk about it if they are. So the kids who are still kind of undecided are very unrepresented, but I'm one of them. I didn't know what classes to take, I didn't know who to talk to, I didn't know which professors to build relationships with, but once you get here, there is a lot of support for like kids like me.
I was really scared I wouldn't be able to find friends, because I knew that the academics were amazing. Like there was no question for me about that. But I didn't really know whether I would find like my people and I would be able to fit in and find my group. But I think already after 2 months, I can say that although I still haven't found my group, there's a lot of amazing people who I really like spending time with.
I fear the weather was a big part, because I'm not good at handling heat.
I'm from a pretty cold country compared to this, and coming here when it was 37 degrees Celsius was crazy, but the AC works. So
Hi!
Hi!
Can you also give me a bye?
Bye!
Good job, thank you so much!
Can you give me a hat?